No one teaches you how to time manage all the way through high school, all the way through uni, all the way through your first few jobs, I'm guessing, unless you're working in a private corporation where you're counting billable hours. Within academia, we are not at all the best at time management. All of these very different tasks that we need to manage, each of which requires a different type of cognitive burden, and we're always juggling these different balls. The kinds of strategies that tend to help manage our workload and help manage our time and in turn our stress is to set priorities and to try and focus on urgent tasks with the appropriate amount of effort. But the thing here is to not confuse urgency for priority. Just because something is urgent doesn't mean that it's going to impact your long-term vision. Something that's very urgent but very easy for you to take care of in the moment, that might force you to lose focus and distract you and take you another 2 hours to get back on track and do that big picture thing. It is not just finding all of the fires you can put out and putting out all the fires first before moving on to big picture things. It's to have a very clear system of what type of tasks command your attention first and foremost, and hopefully you bias that towards the big picture things that will move the needle for you in a week, a month, or a year's time, rather than very small things that you're dealing with that will only help you get to the next day, but really have no real bearing on your long-term trajectory. Another tip for time management is to break up your tasks to avoid procrastination. And this is where we can take a leaf out of student's book using the Pomodoro Technique. You're studying for 25 minutes and then having 5 minutes forced fun, where you're doing anything but work. And the idea that your mind knows in 25 minutes time is going to get a forced break, that actually forces you to focus in a more concentrated way for those 25 minutes, knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And if you practice this over time, your focus can expand beyond that 25-minute time window. Maybe it's closer to 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 2 hours before your break. And that is how you can train your focus over time. Making a record and having a calendar is also really, really powerful. Prioritize something to make sure that it is in your to-do list. Just writing it down is not enough. You need to actually block out time in your calendar. And you can block it out with whatever name you want to call it, but other people have to see that in your calendar and know, hey, this is something that this person has prioritized, and it is not something set aside for some other tasks that we can just fill the calendar with other small trivial things that again don't move the needle 1 week, months, years from now. And that record of your daily routine can be just something personal, your own notebook or your own calendar, but hopefully it's something that's public facing so your team can see it as well, and they can in turn use that approach to block out time in their calendars to prioritize the things that will move the needle for them, and that in turn will then move the needle for you as the leader. The last way of improving your time management skills is learning how to delegate, and I'll be honest, this is something that I'm personally still working on. Passing a task on to someone else and trusting that they can do it at least 70% as good as you is something that I really have trouble with. I really have kind of trust issues, not in the abilities of the people I work with, but very much in my own indecision about exactly how I want to do it. And I want to have final say, so final cut, if you like. So that's kind of where my own emotional vulnerabilities lie in this kind of thing, but we can't do it all. As you assume leadership positions, finding people and putting them in the right positions to succeed and giving them tasks that you know they will be able to do better than you in 6 months' time in a really focused way. If that's all they're doing, that is a real skill as well. That's another soft skill, to be able to spot talent, putting them in positions to succeed.